Hi everybody, it's amazing to have you all here. So, before we have this little conversation here, I want to tell you all a small story. You see, a few months ago, I broke my laptop. It was a really nice and sleek designed laptop. I really loved it. It was amazing. I used it practically every single day. But on one fateful day, this computer broke. The screen just wouldn't turn on. Whatever I did, nothing could turn it on. Nada, zip, zilch, dead. So I thought to myself, well, I'm a pretty tech-savvy guy. I think so myself. So why not try a hand in, let's say, fixing this computer? So I opened up the computer, and there was this small chip inside that was responsible for making the computer charge, and it was completely fried. I could not change it. I looked around for the internet for a replaceable part. Let's say eBay, Craigslist, Shopee, whatever it is, I couldn't find a singular replaceable chip. So I decided to bite the bullet, and I called customer service. This is how it roughly went. Hi, John from customer service here. How may I help you today? Hi, John. You see, I have a little problem with my computer here. There's this chip that I can't really change out. Could you help me find a replaceable one? I'm sorry, sir. Unfortunately, that's not possible. But you could bring your computer in for us, and we'll try and fix it for you. Okay, John. I like to see an invoice first. So a few days went by, and I opened up my email to check the invoice. Turns out, what was in the invoice said that if I wanted to change this device to make it better, to repair it, I had to completely change out the entire brains of the laptop just because a singular piece was wrong with it. Well, I was able to know that this piece was very easy to change out. I'm sadly not everybody. And I'm sure that most people here in the crowd this evening would have believed Mr. John over here that that was the only way to fix your computer. At that moment, I thought to myself, all right, if companies had so much control over our technology, hardware or software-wise, does it really mean that we own our technology? Then I saw it. This is so much bigger than me. This is something that has been plaguing the entire tech industry since day one. This being proprietary technology. Okay, proprietary technology is a fairly big word. So let's break it down. What exactly is proprietary technology? Proprietary technology is a technology that's owned and controlled by a specific company or individual that is protected by patents, trademarks, or copyright. Now, inherently, this isn't a bad thing. Proprietary technology gives these companies the ability to use their devices and products to the best of their extent. Also, they're able to protect their intellectual property. So that's proprietary technology, not all that bad. But when companies have control over software, hardware, and refuse to do simple things that we as consumers need, that begs the question yet again, do we actually own our products or devices? Now, inherently, this seems like a very easy to answer question. Well, of course I own my product. Of course I own devices. I paid for it. Why wouldn't I? But there's a bit more behind it. You see, there are a few limitations that we as a society have agreed on. Let's say with a car. When you go by a car, you can't go by a certain speed limit because, well, it's very dangerous and it's illegal. Or let's say, have you ever tried printing money? Actually, don't do that. That's very illegal. But if you did try to print money, the printer just wouldn't allow you to do so, since, well, it's illegal. And these are limitations we as a society said, all right, yeah, this is what we deem to be okay, and these limitations are what we deem to say, yeah, we're okay with that. However, there's also another few limitations that have been in the limelight as of recent, that being the right to repair and the right to upgrade. To understand this debate a bit more, I want everyone here in the crowd to understand two types of perspectives in this big debate. that being the company and the consumer. We're all here consumers, right? We all use products like phones, devices, laptops. So let's start with the part that we can easiest understand, that being the consumer. Let's say you're the consumer. You broke your phone, your device, whatever, right? Let's say your phone screen broke. Very common issue. You take out your phone and you're like, I would like to fix it. You walk down and you go to your local independent repair shop, or you fix it yourself. Amazing. There are so many things that these things can bring us to you. You can prolong your devices. You can use your devices more. You can have less e-waste in your life, and maybe be a bit cheaper with the spending that you do. There's a million things that's good for this. And in a world where we're living in such a throwaway economy, where 50 million tons of excess e-waste is created every single day, this is just amazing. Amazing for the consumer. Consumer, not the company. The company has a few other intentions. See, company, it's a very big story. There's also people working in there. There's also people having this and that. It's a very complicated issue. So to understand the company's perspective, I'd like to have a little bit of an intermission right here. Let's ask everybody here a little question, maybe a few questions actually. By show of hands, raise your hands if you use an Apple phone or iPhone device. Okay, wow, that's that's a lot of people in the crowd that uses iPhone devices. Well, I'm sad to tell you that this company, Apple, is very hard to work with. They're notorious for anti-repair products. Let's go to the other side. How many people here own a Samsung or name brand Android device? All right, still a pretty decent amount of people in the crowd. Congrats, you're just as bad. These companies also don't want to repair your stuff. Sometimes these companies would also destroy and get rid of your phones if they find a third-party piece in there. So what does this have to do with the company? Well, I wanted to illustrate that these companies, they all want to do one singular thing. They want to control the market surrounding your device. That means that if you have a laptop, a refrigerator, TV, video, and if you haven't noticed, literally every single industry is slowly becoming a tech industry. So that means the products that you surround yourself with is what these companies aim to do. To have your products be with you. So you get so dependent on their products, and when one of your devices eventually breaks, they want you to be the first person they come to. So, you have the broken device. There's a few things the companies can do. One, they can do a measly fix on your device, maybe repair it here and there. Or they can have you buy their newest, brand spanking $1,000 phone, right? And if you're a company, you would most likely go for the brand spanking new $1,000 phone. And there are a few things that they can do to make you do that. One of the biggest things that these companies do is that they restrict parts from manufacturers to come to independent repair shops and workers or the general public like us to access these parts to actually fix our devices. This is extremely hard to do because if you don't get the devices that you need, a lot of us are forced to use third-party devices. And a lot of these times, these third-party devices won't give us as good as the performance as the official parts. Another way that they do this is that when you can't have the devices for independent repair shops and general public to work with you, they do something else. They give out repairs themselves, but these repairs are extremely expensive. A lot of phone screens, or the more major a problem is, the more expensive the repairs are going to be. They try to push you into a mentality where the more common something is, the more expensive it is, the more you have to buy. And if your phone is already at $400 just to repair the screen, why not spend another $200, $300 to buy a new phone entirely? And that's where they get you. If you have to do so many loopholes, go through this and that, you have to go there to do that repair, go there, do that repair, it becomes very tiring. And when you're tired, you don't think straight. And they want you to think less and buy more. And that's how companies get to you. And that's why they create a business model that's so hard to escape from. It's a model that's designed to make the consumer buy more. And that is unethical at its best. And that's not the only thing they can do. Not the worst thing at all. There's a practice that forces you to get into that mentality. They changed the entire process all the way since the manufacturing, so that your devices won't be able to live 3 to 4 years. Sometimes, if you're a bit careful, may go for a bit above, but it's not designed to live for that long. This is a practice that does exist, and I assure you it does. I give you another lead into this big rabbit hole called planned obsolescence. Planned obsolescence, very big word again. But there are a few things I want to make sure that everyone here is on the same page so we can get a better understanding of what planned obsolescence is. Planned obsolescence is the calculated act of making sure the existing version of a product will become useless or dated given a specific time frame. As a person who is very active in the repair space, there are a few things that I've noticed. I can assure you all that I and a lot of independent repair stores can tell you is that one of the most common issues when it comes to a laptop is the laptop hinge. Here are pictures of so many different laptop brands with the same exact issue, the laptop hinge being bursted apart. This is not just one company issue. This is an unacceptable industry-wide practice. And all of this is held up by one singular thing. The most important part of a laptop, being the screen, is held up by old, weak, regular adhesive glue. Wait, glue? Glue. In a laptop, glue! This is extremely outrageous. You spend so much money on buying a very good laptop with the best specs, the best performance that you can ever imagine on, but having this nice, awesome laptop be configured and held up by glue. It's extremely outrageous and should not be a thing. What more would it have cost to use a singular piece of aluminum to connect these two important parts together to make sure that this computer does not break? Better yet, if we are forced to use the same exact design, we should have used epoxy glue. For you car nerds out there, epoxy glue is the exact thing that holds up actual cars. And it's not that cheap either. Glue and epoxy glue on the market sell for roughly the same. So this is not a mistake. Not one bit. This has never been a mistake and has always been planned. Planned to be broken, planned for this to happen. This is planned obsolescence at its finest. And there's also many forms to it as well. Planned obsolescence also prevents you from upgrading your devices. Essential parts are welded into and soldered on together. Now, inherently, this isn't a bad thing, again. Because when it comes to innovation, compact things come with it. Let's say, how many people here have a phone? That's a lot of people out there. Phones are masters of having welded parts being together. This is innovation. But a lot of companies use the term innovation to take advantage of us. A lot of these parts, essential parts, don't need to be welded in together. Some do, but some don't. Let's say one day you run out of storage. So many important files, pictures of your kids, so much you want to keep. You run out of storage and you need more space for your computer to operate. So what do? Well, there are a few options. One, you use drives and Google Drives, all of that, and use the products that these services give you. Or you have to delete very valuable information. This is a way for the companies to push you into a mentality where these products are set in stone, and once you need something new, you will go buy more. Buy. That's what they want. And this entire philosophy of design, once one thing breaks, it guarantees that everything in this device breaks. And that, to me, is entirely unacceptable. This debate at its core is black and white. We deserve the right to own our devices. We deserve to own what we have. We deserve to use the money that we've spent so long to buy these products. We deserve to own it, and there's no negotiating in that aspect. And when companies have never been, ever been penalized for these actions, they have no incentive for them to ever change and go back on their words, because they want money and they don't want anything more than that. Innovation is key, but money comes in with it, and money creates greediness. Thing is, we've been given the gift of technology. Genuinely, we have. What species on Earth has the ability to use a singular finger to access all of the information ever presented to humankind? We are an extraordinary species of human. No man, no thing has been on our level. This is a gift to all of us, and how ironic would it be for this exact gift to be our downfall? I, for one, don't want it to be that way. I want to see innovation. I want to see how much we can do. And this, how everything's going on in the industry right now, does not have to be the end of it. And the key to changing all of this, all of these practices, all of this so wasteful acts, is you. You are the key to change. And there's a few things you can do. Firstly, you have to be more informed. Information is the strongest weapon humankind has. Everything relies on information. So know more about yourself. Know more about the products you use. Have the people around you be excited over technology. Have the people around you know more, learn more, educate yourself. And before you buy a product, make sure that if your needs truly need that much power. I've seen people who do business majors go around with huge computers, which I know they do not need. Information is key, and you need to educate yourself to enact change. The next thing you can do is to reuse your stuff more. Reuse, reduce, recycle. That's a term that we all know. But the term reuse is always set on top, because truthfully reusing is the most important aspect of this entire cycle. I'm sure we all here have a device that has gotten slower over time. Weaker, maybe. But that doesn't have to be the end of its lifespan. No, not a bit. These devices can be used for so much more. Some people have turned their laptops into a home server. People have also used iPhone 5s, yes, a more than a decade-year-old phone to use as a smart hub. And even people have also used really old phones like the Pixel 2 to use as their cameras. I've seen people out there use extremely old devices for marvelous things. I've seen people create art with old computers, laptops, phones, you name it. People in fan bases, like the music industry and all, are still using old headphones and old music players because there's always something that they have to offer. Breathe new life into these things. They aren't dead. There's still more they can do. We deserve to have more. We deserve the right to have a better future. We deserve the right to repair. We deserve the right to prolong. We deserve the right to use our devices the more as we can. And the right to create a more sustainable and clean environment for not just us, but the future that we want to hold. And all of this, I cannot guarantee will happen or not. But the first change to enact all of this is you. For a better future, for a better life, for more innovation, and I cannot wait to see how much we can change in a few years. Thank you so much for listening.